What is going on, everyone? We are back for season 4, episode 36 of Hit the Books. No Ace, no Jesse, just me and Mackie this week. Going to be going through some of these conference finals in the NBA, NHL, some news in the MLB as well. We had our second major of the year wrap up in the PGA Tour world, with the PGA Championship wrapping up this past Sunday at Quail Hollow. We got a pretty good slate of sports this week. Obviously, love conference finals week when there's games every night in each league. Mackie, how are we feeling? Obviously, we know what happened in game one with the Knicks and Pacers. What do you think about some of these hockey games we've had so far, as well as the Western Conference Finals in the NBA?
Yeah, Oilers did what they did best last night. Blew a 2-goal lead in the third period, 5 unanswered by the Stars. Stars look really good. Those are Aces boys, so they look really good to start the Western Conference Finals. Canes doing what they do best as well over there. Panthers doing what they do best. Panthers up 1-0, win a big game on the road. Um, I think Panthers are gonna be really hard to beat. I could see them repeating this year. Going to the NBA, really tough loss for the Knicks last night. Up 14 with 2 minutes left, ended up losing the game. Not much to say, honestly, not much to say there. Just gotta bounce back for game 2. And, on the other side, OKC just pretty much looks unbeatable.
Yeah. We'll start out in the NHL. We'll get into some of these conference finals. Our power rankings going into these conference finals were the Dallas Stars at number 1, the Carolina Hurricanes at number 2, the Florida Panthers at number 3, and those Edmonton Oilers wrapping things up at 4. Obviously, only 4 teams left, so we dropped that 5th spot. I think it's a solid list. Obviously, Florida wins game 1. I think there's really no tell-all until we see possibly Carolina take game 2 tonight. But we'll start out with that series here. The Eastern Conference Finals are underway as the Florida Panthers defeat the Hurricanes in Game 1 in Raleigh on Tuesday night by a score of 5-2. Game 2 will be Thursday tonight when we're recording. We obviously know Florida leads 1-0 in this series. Who's your choice to advance out of this and represent the East in the Stanley Cup Finals, and how many games do you think it takes?
Yeah, I got the Panthers. I could see it in as little as 5. I think it might go a little deeper. I just think this Panthers team is built for it. We've seen it year in, year out. Canes doing what they do best. They played a good game last game. They still lost 5-2. You gotta win game 2 at home tonight. It's gonna be a huge one. They're minus 125 going into it. I don't see a lot of value in them. I took the Canes game 1, don't know why. This Panthers team is built for it. Bobrovsky's built for it. I think, they're gonna be really hard to beat, and I could see them winning in 5.
Yeah, I agree. I had Florida in 5 going into this series. I didn't think they were obviously. I liked them to win that game 1. I didn't think that they were going to start down 1-0 and then have a chance to win 4 straight. But the Carolina, just like you said, they're kind of known for doing this. When they get to the conference finals, they kind of choke, no matter what their expectations are. This time going up against the defending champions, Florida Panthers. They're obviously built for this moment. They did it last year. They almost blew a 3-0 lead in the finals last year to not be the defending champs. They wrapped it up in game 7 on their home ice. Now they come out and jump on the Carolina Hurricanes in game 1. Like I said, 5-2 victory. Tonight, I've been flirting with taking that plus 110 on them. I think there's value in them every game this series, at least when they're dogs. I think I hate to say they're the much better team, but I truly think they are, at least in the playoffs. Carolina, they definitely have guys like Aho, Stankoven. They have a very deep team, Svechnikov. I'm just not sold on the goaltending with Carolina. I know Frederick Anderson's had some health issues throughout his career. They've been splitting net time throughout the year with, I believe you pronounce his name is Kachetkov, as their backup goalie down there in Carolina, or 1A, 1B, however Hurricanes fans want to view it. But I have the Panthers in 5, max 6. If this gets back to Florida, 3-2, going back to Florida for game 6, I think Florida wraps it up and does not let this get to 7 games.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's a must-win situation for the Hurricanes tonight. They could be flirting with another sweep in the Eastern Conference
If
Finals.
they go down tonight, this is serious sweep watch.
Yep, for sure. I think it's a must-win game tonight,
Yeah.
and I don't think
Like,
it's a given. I think they really have to balls to
no.
the wall tonight,
Like you
man.
said, if Vegas thought that they were the much better team here, this would be a minus 190, minus 180 play tonight. But they're literally just getting the edge because they're on home ice and just lost game 1 on home ice.
Right.
But in the West, we had that game 1 underway last night with the Dallas Stars leading the series 1-0 after a 6-3 comeback victory. Edmonton led the game 3-1. Heading into that third period, Dallas scored 5 unanswered goals to win game 1 6-3. Who wins this series and in how many games? This game was also going on at the same time as your Knicks Pacers game. I saw 3-1 going into the third. I was like, okay, Edmonton's going to win this game. It might get close. It might, run away as a 5-1 game. I did not watch this third period. I checked the box score after the game. I was shocked to see Edmonton blow that game. Obviously, we know the goaltending issues with Edmonton. They're the high-powered offense. Draisaitl gets the first goal. It looked like they were going to be buzzing throughout this game. Um, Dallas, they're definitely, I think, the best team out of the two there in the West. I hate to say they're better than Florida because Florida's been there, done that, but I have Dallas winning this series in 5, maybe 6 games. I don't think this is going to be as deep of a series as we think. If it goes 7, I wouldn't be surprised, but Dallas is the much better team here.
I'm gonna go Oilers in 6 here. I think, they definitely should have won game 1. Stuart Skinner doing what he does
I
best, but
bet the Oilers last night. I was fucking pissed they blew that lead.
I mean, it was 3 power play goals to start the 3rd period. I wasn't able to watch because I was watching the Knicks, but just looking at the stat sheet, I mean, shots were right there. I think, we saw this in the Kings series as well. Oilers go down 2-0 in the series, win 4 straight. I'm not gonna say they're gonna go down 2-0 and win 4 straight here, but I think you gotta win game 2, and then you're right back on home ice for game 3. I think they have a good chance still winning the series. You drop game 1 on the road, not the biggest deal. It sucks when you're up 3-1 going into the 3rd period, but, um McDavid and Draisaitl, I think they're gonna get the job done. Dallas does what they do best usually. I think you get to game 7 and Peter DeBoer does not lose game 7, so it's a little tough, but,
Yeah.
um, Edmonton.
It's tough to say because I think I originally said Edmonton winning this series in 6 or 7. Obviously, like you just pointed out, if it goes 7, DeBoer and obviously any team he's coached, Vegas, San Jose, they do not lose in Game 7 there. So I would lean Dallas if it goes that late in the series. I originally think I said Edmonton in 6. That performance last night, that comeback performance, kind of maybe swayed my opinion, but. As I always say, the series doesn't start until a home team loses a game. We had that in the Eastern Conference Finals. Is it obviously could Dallas start 2-0 and you wouldn't be worried about these Oilers?
I would definitely be worried. I think it's not over because you still have home ice, but, to go down 2-0 in any series is gonna be tough
Is
to come
yeah.
back from,
Yeah,
especially against
especially against these kind of teams
this
that are
these
they're still
Stars
alive.
teams. But, I wouldn't call it out just yet. It sucks when you're down 3-1 and lose that game, or when you're up 3-1 going into 3rd period and lose the game. But, I wouldn't call them out yet, count them out just yet.
So you think we get the rematch, Florida versus Edmonton? Does
I
Florida
do.
repeat?
I do, yeah. I think Florida repeats, yeah. I think I could
Yeah,
see
I
Florida
agree.
in 5 this time.
Yeah. I think Florida repeats as well. I don't know exactly who they're going to get, Dallas or Edmonton. I think that's going to be a good series, but
Florida's built
I
for
definitely
it.
think Florida gets out of it.
Mhm.
What'd you say?
Florida's just built for it. That team is
Yeah.
just built for a championship.
And then you add guys like Marchand and Seth Jones, who were probably the biggest players in Game 1 of that series and in Game 7 in against Toronto, which we'll get into here. But they just make the right moves at the right time. Bobrovsky looks like he's absolutely on a tear. We saw him do it all playoffs last year. It looks like he's heating up at the right time again. But speaking of the Maple Leafs, they fall in Game 7 yet again, this time to the Florida Panthers. There are questions surrounding this team and their quote unquote core four of John Tavares, Matthews, William Nylander, and Mitch Marner. Marner and Tavares are free agents, and rumors have it that he was hearing it from their fan base after Game 7. Could you see Marner moving on from Toronto? Where do you see him go? Some of the teams that have thrown their name in the Marner mix are my Penguins, the Detroit Red Wings, the Flyers, the Utah Mammoth, the newly named Utah Mammoth, and your New York Rangers. I don't know what this guy's going to be seeking in the free agent market. He's getting paid $10 million a year right now from the Leafs. Obviously a Toronto kid, grew up, played for the London Knights, gets drafted by the Maple Leafs. Obviously a part of that core four. That's a dream come true, but hasn't lived up to it in the playoffs for them. They can move on from a Leafs perspective and a management perspective. They move on from Tavares and Marner. I don't think that team gets quote unquote that much worse. I know Tavares had a great playoffs, but Tavares is aging. Marner's obviously a piece. They have Matthew Nyes, I think it is, who's been an up and coming star for them. But I definitely think Marner and Tavares are both out of Toronto come next season.
I wouldn't like to see it. I do wanna see Marner stay there. I wanna see that team actually succeed a little. And, they got close this year. 2nd round, game 7, they had him by the balls. It's just you can't come out with that performance in game 7. I mean, 1st period wasn't bad. 2nd period, the shots were 13-1 at one point. It was 3 unanswered. It was kinda over from there. Still Lars had a good series, not good enough. you run into that Panthers team. That Panthers team knows what they're doing. They've been there 1,000 times. They're built for
You
for
give them
games
the
like
chance
that.
in a game 7, they're gonna jump all over it.
Yeah, they're built for games like that. It's tough for a Maple Leafs team that's never won anything, never had any success to go in and win that game. But, I don't wanna see that core ripped up just yet. It's reminding me a lot of Penguins Caps, how Florida always has that upper hand. Florida's winning a lot. If that core stays together, I think they can finally get one sooner or later. It's
Like
just
the Caps did in
like the
Ovi's,
Caps
what,
finally
13th
did.
year? Yeah.
Yeah, hopefully it doesn't take that long, but I don't know. I like this Leafs team. They have a lot of success. They just can't get it done in the playoffs. But it's not that they don't have the recipe for success. It's just that they don't have the heart just yet. I don't know what it
It's
is.
the pressure. I truly think, like, a lot of people point to that fan base and the pressure that's around the surrounding that team in that city, how they live and die with that team. Not saying there's not other fan bases like that. Your Knicks are a good example. But the success that the Maple Leafs have had over the past 10, maybe even 5, 10 years, we'll just go back. Austin Matthews era, the Mitch Marner era. I just think
Getting
I personally think
Tavares.
Marner's going to leave, but I don't think it's more going to be. I wouldn't be surprised if Toronto offers him a deal. I think Tavares could stay on maybe a hometown discount. Obviously, another guy from Toronto. That's why he went there. But I just see Marner moving on. I'd do anything for my Penguins to sign him and get him on a wing with Crosby.
Yeah, if he gets offered the right price, he'll definitely be out of there. But it
I, s-
matters what he wants.
I saw a stat today, or heard a stat from Bissonnette. I was listening to part of my take that no team, there's one team that has won the Stanley Cup with a player in the NHL over a $10 million plus salary. Do you know who that is?
Wait, say it again.
There's been one team in the NHL win a Stanley Cup while there's a player on their roster that makes $10 million or more. And there was one player. Do you know who that one player is and when it was?
Jack Eichel?
Bobrovsky last year.
No way.
Yeah.
Wow,
He's
that's
the only
incredible.
player that's ever won a Stanley Cup while making over $10 million a year.
What's Jack Eichel's contract in Vegas?
I think it's like 9, like 9.5.
Gotta be right there. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like right
Wow,
under 10.
that's incredible.
But yeah, I was shocked to hear that. And then you look at like McDavid's salary, 14, 15. I don't even know what he makes. Matthews is right around that same range. Marner was 10. They have so much money tied up into those four guys. I think it's best for them to kind of reset. You obviously don't want to move on from Matthews. He's a top 4 player, top 3 player in
You
the
can't move
NHL.
on from him. Yeah.
Depending how you feel about Draisaitl, it's McDavid, McKinnon, Matthews, Draisaitl, in my opinion. But I'd love to see Marner move on, just kind of get out of those bright lights. I think even some of these other teams outside of the Penguins, obviously, I would hate to see him go to the Flyers. Wouldn't really care to see him go to Utah just because of I don't care for that team. Detroit, I think, would be a fun team, a younger team that he could come in there, kind of be that veteran
Yeah, but
presence
what's
that's
he gonna
been in the
do? Go to
playoffs.
Detroit and get a wild card spot and do the same thing over and over? It's just
Exactly.
what are you
Yeah,
getting
I
out of
think it's
Toronto
more of
for?
a. I don't know if they think it's a change of scenery or what, but I'm definitely hoping the Penguins make a move. There's talks that him and Dubas are been close through their tenure in Toronto, so I'd like to make something happen there. We have some money to spend this offseason, but we'll see if he ends up going there. But outside of Marner, we do have a heavy list of UFAs in the NHL this summer. The list includes obviously Marner, Tavares, Jamie Benn of the Dallas Stars, Brent Burns, Aaron Ekblad, a lot of guys that are still in this playoff picture. Brock Besser, Brad Marchand, Brock Nelson, Mikael Granlund, Sam Bennett, Patrick Kane. Is there anyone on this list that you could see make a heavy impact on a new team? Like guys like Sam Bennett, I think he fits that Florida team so well that if I'm him, I don't know if I'm leaving.
You forgot a big name in Connor McDavid as well.
He's a free agent this summer.
Yes, yeah.
He was not on the list that I saw. That's crazy.
Yeah, the list I saw, it was like 30 names long. It was ridiculous. I know Panarin's on it as well. Um, Actually, maybe Panarin's not.
Are they restricted or UFAs?
I'm 99% sure that he's UFA.
That's crazy. I did not know that.
Hold on, let me look it up.
Yeah, fact check that because I mean, a lot of these guys that are still in the playoffs, like I said, Ben Burns, Ekblad. Ekblad's another piece I'd love to see. If we got to break up this Florida team, I do root for this Florida team, but I think it's going to be hard for them to retain Bennett, Marchand, Ekblad. I think Marchand was more of a rental for these playoffs. I do think he'll move on, if not go back to Boston, that kind of move. But um, I'd be interesting to see what happens there. But yeah, what are you seeing on this
Shit, I
McDavid thing?
can't find it. Um,
He might have been on the list I saw, and I just didn't even like believe it. Almost, you know what I mean? Like
yeah.
I can't. So he's gonna test free agency. He hasn't signed an extension. They're in the Western Conference Finals. There's no way they're in talks of contract extensions now.
Well, I just it doesn't even say restricted or unrestricted, but the free agent class is includes McDavid, Makar, Eichel, Kaprizov, Panarin, Ovechkin, Bobrovsky, Kyle Connor, John Carlson, Malkin.
Jesus Christ, I forgot half of the league.
Dude, it's nuts. This free agency is gonna be incredible.
Damn.
Matty Nice is
Say
a
that list again.
restricted.
Say the top of that list again.
The top is ridiculous. McDavid, Makar, Eichel, Kaprizov, Panarin, Ovechkin, Bobrovsky, Kyle Connor. Then you have, like, Malkin, Ekholm, Jacob Markstrom, Adrian Kempe. It's ridiculous, dude.
That damn.
But
I
it's all
knew
it
I
doesn't
knew
say
Malkin. I didn't
restricted or
throw him in this
unrestricted.
list, but Kaprizov. That's kind of shocking to me that Minnesota hasn't tried to lock him up to a long term deal.
Yeah, he'll probably get one. He'll
He's gonna
definitely get one, yeah.
he'll get a fat deal from Minnesota. I don't think he leaves there. He is their future, at least him, Boldy. I'm not the best at naming Minnesota Wild players off the top of my head. I know they have some studs up there, but um, I don't see him move on from Minnesota. But some of those other players on that list, that's crazy. Ovechkin, we know he's not leaving Washington after the year that he just had. They
Well, there's no
overlooked
re he has no
there's no
reason to
reason
ever
to.
leave,
Like,
yeah.
don't do a Jerry Rice and, play whatever, however many years with one team and then go do one with another team because no one ever remembers that season. But do you agree though? I think Marchand just goes back to Boston.
You think so?
If not,
I don't
stays with
know.
Florida.
I don't
Or is
think
he
he
pissed they
wants
traded him? You know what I
I
mean? Like,
I don't think he wants much more in Boston. I think he hold on, I'm trying to
is Boston even
I
going to be contenders next year? Like, I don't think
exactly,
so.
like, he doesn't have many years left. I think, you can't go from Boston to Florida right back to Boston. I feel like it's
Yeah, go
not that there's
literally
any
play
bad
4 months
blood,
for the top Stanley Cup contending team, the defending champions, and then go right back to rebuilding.
especially if he wins the cup.
And he could be in the exactly. If he wins a cup this year and it goes back to Boston, he could be in that same position he was this year where they could be looking to move him at the deadline again.
What is this, a vicious cycle, the same exact thing?
Yeah.
I don't think he goes back to
I
Boston.
didn't really think about that.
I would be very shocked.
Yeah, I kind of just talked myself out of that. A couple other
Because
things
honestly, if you think about it, like, blindly, it makes sense for him to just go back to Boston, but I don't think that happens a lot in the NHL.
no,
You
no.
see it a
I
lot
think
in
if anything, he
baseball.
would just stay with his new team. He's obviously been a loyal guy to Boston. I think, he's going to look at it as, well, if you guys have the money for it or can give me a team friendly deal, I'll stay here and compete for cups.
Right.
But yeah, that's gonna do it for the NHL. Obviously, conference finals. We have game 2 tonight. For I believe the East with Florida in Carolina. Like I said, game 2 in Carolina tonight. That'll be over by the time you're listening to this. But we'll jump over to the NBA. Our power rankings in the NBA. Oklahoma City still sitting at number 1. Your Knicks at 2. Minnesota Timberwolves at 3, and the Pacers at 4. Obviously, we made this list before the conference finals got excuse me underway. And then before we get into some of these series, Oklahoma City guard SGA Shai Gilgeous-Alexander has officially won the 2025 NBA MVP award. I loved not even the fact that he won this. I wasn't going to say that. I really don't care that he won it. He was great this year, but Jokic averaging a 30-point triple double, the best season he's had in a player that has what 2 or 3 MVPs already, and it's his best statistical season, and he has all those MVPs. But the fact that it was being broken on TNT before the game last night, the Knicks Pacers game, and Shams was like, "Fuck you, TNT! I'm tweeting this out at 12:30
Yeah,
p.m.
what a
Eastern
dick.
time
Why'd he do that?
because it wasn't on ESPN." They were saying if that game was being broadcast by ESPN, that tweet would have never been sent. He just wanted to get credited with the news because they didn't want TNT to break it.
Yeah, I saw the tweet and I didn't know if it was, like, being announced
I
at
thought
that
he was
time or
like, dude, when
not.
I saw that tweet, I was like, "Holy fuck! Did he get hurt in practice or shoot around or something?" Like, you don't see him tweet out that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Like, it's
Yeah,
either trades or injuries.
yeah, yeah, that
But
was crazy.
yeah, I thought that was pretty
What do you
crazy
think
and
about it?
pretty
You think he
petty
deserved
move,
it?
but it was funny.
You think he deserved it?
I mean, like I just said, a 30-point triple double, and then I saw a meme last night where it was like, all right, it was like a cartoon of like aliens coming to take the best player in the world, and they were like, "We're taking your MVP. We need the best player." And they were like, "Wait, our best player is Jokic." And they were like, "Well, why didn't he win the MVP then?" It's true, like 30-point triple double. What I does he have 2 or 3 MVPs?
It's like the I think he has 2, but I mean, he should have 3 because that one with Joel Embiid won
Didn't he
that
get
Joel
back to
Embiid
back
won.
and then he won last year too?
You could be right. I could be wrong. He's getting the LeBron treatment, though. It's just LeBron shoulda won it every year from, like, '08 to, like, 2014, you could say, but, I mean, he just wasn't. It's just I look at it this way, you take Jokic off the Nuggets, they're not even a They might not even be a play-in team. You take Shy off Thunder, they're probably a 4 seed.
Yeah. I was gonna say at
Could be
least
better.
they'd be like the Rockets. They'd be a team like that's gonna make the playoffs, but no one's scared of.
Right, right. It's just the in terms of, like, most valuable player, you can't even make an argument for Shy.
No. Yeah, I mean the numbers or the numbers, but I mean we saw it in game one. The foul baiting, obviously, that's kind of gotten more noticeable and more under the microscope throughout the season. But I like watching him play, but not when he's doing that. Not when that's his entire go into a game. He had 7 fucking free throws 4 minutes into the game, jumping into guys, flailing his arms around, falling. I would love when they called the one where he literally just tripped and they called a foul and they ended up reviewing it, calling that back. Like, you
Half the
gotta
time half the time, it's not even, like, he's so prone to it now, it's like that he's not even baiting anymore, they just call it like that. Like,
exactly
that one
they just
step back.
as soon as someone gets near him, there was no one even touching him and they called the foul.
Yeah, it's just I can't even watch him play
I loved
basketball
when he was
anymore.
sitting on the ground looking for the foul and Ant just threw the ball at him. He's like, "You
Yeah,
fucking pussy.
yeah.
If you're gonna do this all series, like this is gonna get you over quick," and he knows it.
And you see the post-game conference with,
Yeah, when he's
and
pointing at the stat sheet with
yeah, he's
Randall.
laughing.
But we'll get to that Western Conference Finals. OKC took game one against Ant and the Minnesota Timberwolves. Game two is tonight, Thursday, also in Oklahoma City. Who do you think wins this series and how many games?
I g I gotta go OKC. I wanna say 5. I wanna say that this team is so outmatched, it's just game 1 was a perfect tell of how this
Yeah.
series is gonna go, I think. But then again, Ant only took 13 points, he had or 13 shots, he had 18
Yeah, that's
points.
crazy.
He's gotta do more. Like I said in the group chat the other day, he has these games where you're not gonna win these games when your best player is taking 13 shots and
Yeah,
he has
they're
18
not getting
points.
30 points from
Take
Naz Reid.
over.
They're not getting 30 points from Randall. Gobert is obviously a defensive style center. They're never going to get 20 and 10 from him. I mean, they did against the Lakers, but you know what I mean? Like, I'm talking on a consistent basis. He needs to go out there and score
Even
30 points a game.
even if he's not feeling it, shoot the ball. You are
Yeah.
the best player, you're down 20 points, shoot the
Start
ball.
chucking.
You need to be the reason that they win this game because nobody else is gonna be. Not Jaden McDaniels, not Naz
He
Reid.
obviously is known as like a selfish player. He gets unselfish when they're losing in those scenarios. Like
He's
he's like,
you know
all
what
right,
it
well, I'm
is?
not going to get us back in this myself. So then he
He's
starts dishing it to Jalen or Jaden McDaniels and Nas Reed in the corner. It's like, dude, you're the reason they're here. Just keep going.
he's just young and inexperienced, and that's where the age really shows is that when he's not hitting, he's like, "Alright, let's see if somebody else can do it." No, you are the man, dude.
Yeah, it's
Like,
like,
you
yeah,
have to
we
figure this
want you
out.
taking the
You
shots.
have to
Yeah.
figure this out yourself. You shoot yourself out of it or you shoot yourself into it.
Yeah.
Doesn't really matter.
I
But
still I'm gonna go back to what I said. I still think if they go down 0-2, you do not want to go down 0-2 to this Thunder team. I think they need to get one in OKC. I originally said Wolves in 6. I think that's dead. If they win this series, they have to. It's going to be in 7. I still think Minnesota can steal 1 or 2 games, like you said, 5, 6, maybe back in Minnesota. I right now that game one is so telling to me. Like you just said, if they're going to play like that, this is going to be over fast. If these refs are going to be on SGA like that, this isn't going to be much of a series. Um, I like this
which
Thunder team too, but they make it so hard to root for them.
which don't get me wrong, the foul baiting isn't the reason that they won that game.
No, no, no.
It's they were winning that game regardless of if Shy
They
shot 13
like I
free throws
texted
or
you, the
not.
Thunder are so good at the second half adjustments. They come out and do that every game in the third quarter.
Yeah.
They could be
Yeah.
down 10 at halftime. They'll come out with like an 18-2 run, and next thing you know, they're winning.
Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous, but, I mean, like I said, like, it's not the reason that they won that game, they were winning it regardless, but going forward, there could be games where that is the difference, and if they're gonna it's playoff basketball,
Like, imagine if that was a 3-point game in the end.
you can't have minimal contact and where 99% of the time, it wouldn't even be called a foul in the regular season, and you're calling it in the playoffs like
I was
that,
gonna
like,
say the NBA kind of does the opposite of what the NHL does. The NHL puts the whistles away in the playoffs. The NBA is like, we got to call
the
everything in
refs
the
make it
playoffs.
about themselves is what it is. I mean,
Yeah,
you also saw I think it was Naz Reid, was backing down a defender, clear foul on him like 4 or 5 times, and he, like, trips up, they steal the ball, go
go
down
down,
court.
get it.
That was
Yep.
when Shai did his, like, little fall and one. It was, like, no contact at all. If you wanna call a foul on on the other side of the floor. We'll call a foul on that minimal contact where it shouldn't even be a foul. It's
Yeah,
just
I'm interested to see what happens in game two tonight. If that continues and it's a close game, a lot of people obviously are already saying the Thunder aren't fun to watch. This foul baiting, it's obviously, like I said, under the microscope. But I just don't even think the refs care. They're like, we're just gonna keep doing it. We've done it all season for him. We're not gonna stop now.
Yeah, but it's just getting ridiculous, man. I
Yeah.
mean, he can't just keep getting away with this.
I agree, but we'll step over to the East with your Knicks. Got underway last night with an insane ending to Game One. Pacers trailing by 14 with around 2 minutes to go in the game. Madison Square Garden fans were then introduced to Aaron Nesmith as he went 6 for 6 from 3-point range late in the fourth quarter to help the Pacers come back. Where Halliburton hits the game tying two, looked like a three, hits the choke. Gesture, I guess you'd say, points to Reggie Miller, thinking the game's over. Even though it's a two, that's a huge shot. The bounce in, I saw Ace say it was kind of like the Kawhi play against the 76ers, which I didn't really think about that, but it kind of is. Pacers go on to win the game 138 to 135 in overtime to take a 1-0 series lead. Do you think I don't think this series is over. You were talking earlier, like this is a single elimination. I still have Knicks in seven. I thought this series would go seven. I basically mapped it out. I think Knicks win game two. Pacers do win game three, first game at home. They'll take a 2-1 lead. Knicks go back to game six. Knicks are up 3-2. Pacers win. Knicks close it out in game seven at the Garden.
I watching last game, I don't think that it should get 7 games. I think that the Knicks are so much better of a team. It's ridiculous. First of all, Brunson scores 43 points, Cat has 35, and you lose the game. It's just insane. Insane.
I
You
didn't notice what were you saying OG was the reason you lost? I didn't really notice him much.
He just shot the ball like shit. He shot 6 for 15, I think. He wasn't hitting his shots, and they were up 5 with 33 seconds left. Brunson passes him the ball, and he just throws it away. He just can't handle the ball. That is the
Yeah.
exact reason we lost that game. I'm looking for someone to blame here because honestly, nobody really had that bad of a game. Josh Hart played a great game. Mitchell Robinson did everything right. Cat 35, Brunson 43. McCall didn't do anything bad. It's just how do you lose the way
You even sent the stats of Cat last year versus the Pacers with the Wolves, this year versus the Pacers in the regular season. He had that kind of game.
Cat played incredible, and nobody can guard him on that team. It's just
35
I
point double
cannot
double. I think he had 14 rebounds or 12 rebounds.
I cannot wrap my head around how they lost that game, and Brunson said it after the game. We were just trying not to lose in those final 2 minutes. And, it's not gonna happen again where the Pacers hit
You're not gonna. Yeah, I was
9
gonna say.
straight threes in the final 4 minutes. They didn't miss 1 shot the entire time in the final 4 minutes. That's not gonna happen again. Like, the Knicks just I can't even get I've never been so mad for so long over a loss. It's mind-blowing. And then in overtime, Brunson goes up for a layup. Clear goaltend. They're up 4 at this point. I think 3.5 minutes left. You're up 4. Goes up for a layup. Clear goaltend, no call. First of all, the rule about a goaltend is that you always call it if it's close because you can't review it if you don't call it.
Yeah,
You can always review it. You can always overturn it if
return
you
it.
call
Yeah.
it. Call the fucking goaltend. It's a clear goaltend. Call it. They don't call it. Go down the floor. Pacers hit a 3, 1-point game like that. It's a 5-point swing right there. Changed the entire game. Game was over after that. It was just everything that could have went wrong went wrong.
And once it got to overtime, the Pacers had all the momentum after that comeback.
But the Knicks had the lead in overtime, and Brunson had the layup, and it would have been a 6-point game. It turned into a 1-point game,
Yeah.
and after that, I mean, Pacers didn't miss a shot.
Yeah, they were on fire late at the end of
It
that. That was
just
crazy.
everything that could have went wrong went wrong. You can't blame anybody but yourselves, honestly, but they should not have lost that
I
game.
liked what Brunson said. We were trying just not lose that game. That's you can't do that.
You can't do
We've
that.
seen it time and
Exactly.
time again. When you
Yep.
play scared, you're gonna lose the game.
But you're up 14 with 2:20 left. Mathematically, you can eat the
Dribble the
shot
ball up.
clock for every single time, and you're still gonna win the game. It's
Yeah, they
just
could have taken a shot clock violation every single time they touched the
every
ball, not
single
shot the
time.
ball at all,
And then
and they would have
Cat
won.
Cat gets 3 free throws with, like, 45 seconds left, misses 1. OG gets 2 free throws, 12 seconds left, misses 1. It's like, hit your fucking free throws, man. Like, you had every chance to win this game. I just really hope this doesn't, like, eat at them for the rest of the series because this could go one of 2 ways where they take this and they run with it, or they're gonna dwell
See,
on this for the rest
that's
of the
kinda what happened
series
last
and
series with the Pacers and Cavs. Like, everyone was like, "Okay, Cavs are gonna kill them in game 2." The Pacers are obviously a very good team. They've been in this position last year. They got swept by the Celtics. Celtics are obviously nasty. Your team just beat that Celtics team who swept this Pacers team last year. Not much has changed from either of those rosters. I still think the Knicks. I do think it goes 7. I originally said that before. I didn't see the Pacers winning game 1. I thought it with that 4.5 points was going to be tight, just because the Knicks do like to play in some of these tight games, and the Pacers obviously have no quit in them. I'm interested. What's the spread in game two? If you had to guess, if you didn't already
It's
see it.
5.5, I already saw it. That's
Okay,
what happens, it goes up a point if they lose, it goes down a point if they
if
win.
they, yeah,
Um, I genuinely think that the Knicks should win the series in 5, I think they're a way better team. I don't think that's gonna happen because if you have one bad shooting night, the Pacers just absolutely
they
maul you. They
capitalize
score
on it.
130
Yeah,
points a game. It
they're literally, for lack of a better term, they're the best paced team.
Yeah, they are. They really are. But I just think
Fast
we're
break
the
points up and down the floor, like they're just so good in transition too.
I just think we're the way better team. I think that realistically we should win this series in 5, but I don't think it's gonna happen. I'm gonna say Knicks in 6. You have to come out in game 2 and win this game by 30. You have no other choice. Halliburton, the disrespect that he gave the Knicks, if you're gonna sit there and take it, then the series could be over in 5 and you can lose in 5. But, I mean, we're just such a better team, I think at the end of the day, I think that they should have the series in 6 maximum, even after a game 1 loss.
I think we're in for a good series. I think Knicks take game two. It'll be interesting to see what happens once the series gets back to Indianapolis. If it is 1-1, but yeah, the conference finals in the NBA, we get game two, Oklahoma City, Minnesota tonight on Thursday. At least when we're recording this. I hope Minnesota can put up a fight in that one, but it's going to be interesting to see. As well, there we'll transition over to the MLB. Our power rankings this week. We have a new number one, the Detroit Tigers at 1, the Yankees at 2, your Mets at 3, the Chicago Cubs at 4, and the LA Dodgers at 5. It's definitely a different looking list than what we are used to the past few weeks. Tigers look unstoppable in the AL. Obviously, we know what the Yankees are capable of, but that Tigers team, they just find ways to win games. I think they're playing Cleveland now. Flaherty on the mound today. I was looking at betting them. I think they're close to minus 130 there. But I think that's a solid list. The Cubs as well. They're a very good team. We obviously know what the Mets and Yankees are capable of. Dodgers, the defending champs, at 5. I think that's a loaded list there. But one thing I wanted to touch on in the MLB, I don't know if you heard this stat, but the Pittsburgh Pirates continue to get pitching staff, continue to fail to get their pitching staff run support. They are currently on a 25 game streak of scoring 4 or less runs. They last scored 5 plus runs in a 9-3. They last scored 5 plus runs in a 9-3 win against the Angels on April 22nd, a month ago, literally a month ago today. Despite getting solid outings from their pitching staff, they cannot produce hits or runs. They're getting 5, 6, maybe some. Most of these games are getting 6 hits a game. Um, Paul Skeens is now 3-5 on the season with just a 2.44 ERA, and he's 3-5. Pirates have lost his last outing 1-0 in Philadelphia. They then defeated the Cincinnati Reds 1-0. Yesterday they win 3-1. That was I think 25 game is now tied or is the record for most games without scoring 5 or more runs. And they have less runs scored this season than the Rockies, who are 8-41 on the season.
Yeah, it's I've never seen a stat like that, 4 or
It's
less runs,
insane,
25
dude.
straight games. Why are we not just ripping the under on every single one of their games?
I say it every time. Every time Skeens pitches, take the under, take the first half under. Don't take the Pirates money line because they're not juicing it anymore like they were last year when he was on a roll. They know he's
They
not
know
getting the
that
run support, so
he's
he's
getting
literally underdogs in a lot of these games now.
he's getting the DeGrom treatment. DeGrom in 2018 had a 1.7 ERA and a 10-9 record.
Yeah, it's disgusting.
That is just not even possible. But, yeah, Skeens is getting that exact treatment right now from a
And
shitty team.
the Pirates just said they're not interested in trading him. At least at this deadline. Obviously, that could be to drive the price up. Some of these offers that they're getting probably aren't what they're looking for to trade a piece like that. We know he's not re-signing here. So, from a Pirates fan perspective, I hope they trade him at some point because he's not going to re-sign here. There's no chance. We're not going to be able to compete with the Mets, the Yankees, the Dodgers, their money, even the Red Sox. Um, I
It's
saw a
just
situ-
sad.
Oh yeah, I mean it's long gone past like Garrett Cole, Joe Musgrove, all these guys. I could name so many fucking guys that we've had, but I did see a situation where the three prospects Ace loves to name: Marcelo Meyer, Roman Anthony, and Christian Campbell, who's obviously in the MLB now. He's up with the Red Sox. They said there's a trade scenario that they send all three of those guys to the Pirates for Skeens.
I did see that actually, yeah.
I would do that deal in a probably a
Yeah, but
heartbeat
just to
because
get
Skeens
rid of
isn't going to re-sign here.
them and then in the next 3 years
Exactly.
after it anyway.
Just for them to become studs here 2 years later, we're going to trade him at the deadline.
It's
We
just
are
a
a
it's
We're
a
a farm
vicious
system.
it's a vicious cycle where
Yeah,
you just need an owner to put money into this team, and
it will never happen. It's crazy. Till he sells that team, and really, we need a general manager because they just got rid of Shelton, which I never thought the manager was the issue. He made some questionable pitching rotation changes, pulling guys when they were hot, saving arms. But our general manager signs Adam Frazier to a $4 or $5 million deal this offseason. He's fucking terrible. Signs Tommy Pham to a $4.5 million deal. He's batting like 110. He was supposed to come in here and hit home runs, and he's literally just striking out every single play. He's fucking terrible. But yeah, they're obviously we know what the Pirates are. No one expects any of them going in and out of each season, but this stat was crazy. 25 game streak of 4 or less runs. Last time they've scored more than 5 was 9-3 win on April 22nd a month ago.
yeah, I've never seen a stat like that. That's incredible. They gotta do something over there, fix
Yeah,
something up.
they're not going to. They're literally just gonna. I
Sooner or
don't think
later,
they're gonna
dude.
trade Skeens this year. I think they're at least gonna. If I were the Pirates, and the owner's not going to sell the team, which that's the first thing that needs to happen, but it's not going to happen. You got to fire the general manager. Try to get a general manager in here that can somewhat convince the owner, like, can we spend a little bit of fucking money while you have the best pitcher in baseball or one of them? Like, let's get some run support around him. Let's get a better. I mean, the pitching staff is good. Jared Jones just went down with the season ending. He hasn't played all year, but he just got surgery. I don't know why he waited this fucking long to get surgery, but he waited 2 months, 3 months into the season to get the surgery. He's out for the year. A fully healthy pitching staff. We have Skeens, Jones, Keller, Ashcraft in the system, Bubba Chandler in the system, the number 2 prospect in baseball. Like, if they get those two guys up here, the Pirates could have arguably one of the best pitching staffs in baseball. They just don't hit the fucking ball.
It
It's
doesn't matter what kind of
crazy.
pitching staff you have because if the bats
Like I always
aren't
say, they try
going.
to win games 1-0. In these past 2 games, they lost 1-1, or past 3 games, they've lost 1-1, won 1-1, and then they win 3-1. It was I'm not gonna lie, live bet Pirates team total. That's my new favorite bet. Just take the under on like a live under after they get all their runs. If they get runs early, all their runs, it's like 1 or 2. So if they score early, you just live bet under 2.5, under 3.5, and it's always plus money for some reason. And I've been using like odds boost on it. So yesterday it was 2-1 in the 6th inning. I'm like, and they had a guy on first and second. I'm with 2 outs. I'm like, all right, I'm taking this under 2.5 right now. There's no way we get a guy home here. It was plus 220. I used an odds boost on. I got it like 260 or something. They get out of that inning. The next inning, they get that insurance run to make it 3-1. I was pissed. And obviously, don't score again. But yeah, they're terrible. I should have taken the 3.5. It was like 3.5 was like minus 125, and then 2.5 was like plus 250. I was like, fuck it, I'm taking the juice. I don't care. They're not going to score anyway. But then they ended up doing it. But out of the MLB in the world of golf, Scotty Scheffler is back in the winner's circle as plus 500 takes home his third major of his career as he wins the 2025 PGA Championship on Sunday at Quill Hollow. Scotty wins the tournament by 5 strokes at 11 under. Harris English, Bryson DeChambeau, and Davis Riley tied for second at 6 under. Bryson shows all class waiting for Scotty at the clubhouse to shake his hand, congratulate him on the win. What did you think of the PGA this weekend? Scotty's win as he now is halfway to that career Grand Slam.
Yeah, like I said, when Scotty's in the mix on a Saturday, I mean, it's just he's gonna have to do something wrong to really lose that.
Unless someone goes out there and shoots 62, 63, 64, like some crazy round,
It was
which
just
he
a
did it himself on Saturday, shoots 65.
it was just a really consistent 4 days for him, and, I think it was -2 the first day, -4 the second day, just, like, -2 the third day or whatever he was. It's just a very good round. He obviously, John Rahm gave him a run for his money, 10 holes into to Sunday. I think they were
Broke at
tied 10
9
holes
under, yeah.
in, but then, John Rahm just couldn't keep up with Scotty the rest of the way.
Once Scotty bogeyed that next hole and
Rahm
Ron
went into the
bogeyed
water, I think.
Ron bogeyed the next hole, and it was 10 under to 8 under. Ron was going into what they call the Green Mile at Quill Hollow, needing to pick up strokes. He was going for it over the water. That's where I think he put it in the water once, if not twice. Ends that round double bogey, bogey, double bogey. Just kind of puts himself totally
Yeah,
out of
he
it.
knew he
That's
was cooked.
that's probably a difference of if he would have just played his game the rest of the round and not worried about winning. Like, obviously, those guys want to win. He's on the live tour. He doesn't need that extra whatever $600,000. But he was tied for second, and him going double bogey double probably lost him out on close to $600,000.
Probably a little more, honestly, because I think
Yeah,
he finished, what, 5th?
I think he was finished tied for fourth or fifth.
Yeah, that'll,
It's 4 under, tied for fifth. You're right.
Yeah,
That's
that'll lose you a lot of money, especially from going from 2nd to 5th like that, but, um,
balls. It's crazy.
yes, you called Scotty there. Scotty had a great round. I haven't really loved him this year. I think he's been a little off, but, that was vintage Scotty right there last weekend.
Yeah, he was on fire this weekend at I took him at the Charles Schwab this weekend. There's obviously a very light field. A lot of these guys aren't playing in it. That's usual. Right, fresh off a major, that first event, not many guys playing it. Scotty's only playing it because it's in Fort Worth. He said, "Why would I not play it anytime I get the advantage to take
Oh,
advantage
he's
of playing
home,
in my
right?
backyard in
Yeah.
Dallas?" Yeah, so he was at the Stars game last night. They asked him about it. I took him. He's plus 225 to win. I was like, and
No way.
everyone else is plus 1800 and on
Wait, has he teed off yet?
145. He probably just
Oh, he
started.
just did, yeah. Um,
What's the current standings on that? Are you looking at it?
yeah, so, this guy, John Pack, FedEx ranked 168 is 6 under through 15, he's leading it. And then there's these 2 guys that I don't know, hits Rio Hisatsune, 4 under. Matty Schmidt,
Is
4
Scott even
under.
through the hole yet? What is he like? Even through one?
He's not through a hole yet. But first person that really matters, Tommy Fleetwood's tied for 6, 3 under. Um,
He was like second or third in the odds.
Andrew Novak, 3 under.
He was up there as well.
Bhatia, I forget how to say his name, Bhatia
Charles
Bhatia,
Schwab
3
class.
under. Brian Harmon, 3 under. Um, that's just the top of the leaderboard right there. Jordan
Yeah,
Spieth is 1 under through 18.
one
This
under
isn't
through 18. Spieth sucks lately,
Yeah,
dude.
I know, he's just not getting it done. Cam Young, 1 under through 3. Harrison English, 1 under through 1. I don't think Scotty's played it or registered a hole yet. Is it on TV? I wanna watch
I'm
it.
looking for it right now. I don't think it is. It's probably the first two rounds are probably on ESPN Plus kind of thing. Saturday and Sunday will probably be on cable. I'm looking for it. I don't see it anywhere here.
Scotty has not registered a hole yet.
Okay.
He's in a group with Davis Riley and Andrew Putnam.
Okay. Yeah, I think he takes it. I saw plus 225. I was like, it's his backyard. He's gonna fucking.
Yeah,
He did this
there's
when he won
not
the Masters 2 years ago. He won the Masters, and then the next weekend went to the RBC and won that. He's obviously done this when he gets hot. He stays hot. So I'm more just testing the waters. I took him again this weekend.
not a bad bet. Good
Yeah.
value.
So that a good week in the sports world. Obviously, the U.S. Open next month. That's our next major that we have marked on the calendar, starting June 12th, just under a few weeks away. But yeah, like I said, Charles Schwab Classic, not the best tournament, but going to be some good golf there. I hope Scotty can bring home a win. Western Conference Finals in both the NHL and NBA. Same with the East. I think we're in for a good week of sports. We're going to be going live on Saturday. Make sure you stay tuned for that around 9 a.m. Eastern time. Give you some playoff picks as well as a live update on this golf tournament we have this weekend. But thanks for listening. I think that's all we got this week, and we'll see you guys next week for more of the conference finals and the NHL and NBA recap, as well as to see what's going on in the MLB. But thanks for listening, and we'll see you next week.